Hello, true believer. I am back, MFSB from Fresh Crow Magnon Men, and it has been, I think, 7 years since the original series ended. And as you can see, I was dressed to go climbing today. I thought it would be awesome to go out and do a little bouldering, hence the fuchsia pad. But it has been raining all day, and so I'm not going. But I was like, hey, I got the gear on. So I'm going to do this introduction to the Legacy Edition of Fresh Crow, which was on for 11 seasons. So as you're going to see, this is the entire first season. And why am I doing this? Because it's been 20 years this year. This is February 2024. And I moved to Oregon in 2004. And it wasn't until a couple of years later, 2006, that Hosh Miagi and MFSB met. Fresh Crow Magnon Man. So I thought it would be cool, partly because it was fun for me to just kind of go through all the old seasons, but also as a way to kind of maybe reintroduce the show to people who've never seen it before. Because, you know, the first season, I mean, we shot it in 2006, and to be honest, it took us like all year, and it wasn't until 2007 that we put it out on YouTube. We had our own YouTube channel, and we got like 50,000 views, or I think it was 20,000 views on the first 3 seasons alone. And then it kept growing as the subsequent seasons came on. But anyway, of course, I was like, oh, fuck that, I'll delete that channel. That's not my channel, that's the channel. So anyway, all the episodes have moved around over the years. But A, we just put on whatever music we wanted, which is now blocking the audio on a lot of the episodes. And B, you know, some of the stuff you miss, or you can't find it, or whatever. So I thought it would be really fun for me to thread in some of these stories in between. And you can see... still in the bright colors, still have the long hair, still have the beard. It's got a lot more white. But some things haven't changed, including how psyched I am to have had Hosh and Princess Ponytail meet so they could start doing some digital comics, which Hosh Miagi talks about in the first episode. And then I would meet Hosh, and Hosh would introduce me to Princess Ponytail. And then the three of us would go out and climb together. And then Hosh and I decided, well, let's make a web series, which it wasn't even that. It was, well, let's make some videos. So you're going to see the pilot episode here, and you can definitely see a different dynamic between me and Hosh, not only in the way we dress and talk and climb, and the music we chose and all that stuff. Again, I'm re-editing all the music, so it's royalty-free music, so this should not be banned or restricted in any way. If you'd like to watch the rest or the original series, go to my YouTube channel, look for the Fresh Crow Magnon Man. There are 11 playlists, or you can just watch this. And in the next hour or so, you're going to see the entire first year of Fresh Crow. So thanks for tuning in, and you'll see me here and there as we go through, because I'm going to be kind of narrating or telling you the between-episode things in between each episode.
Oh, hey there. I am Hosh Miagi. Nice to meet you. I shake your hand, but you are out there. So I'm part of Fresh Crow Magnon Men, and you probably haven't heard of us yet, but you will. I'm one part of 3, and I came to Oregon, and I met a friend of mine, Nathan, and Princess Ponytail, and we were climbing one day, and we got the worst photos of us ever. Like, I'm a skinny white boy, he's a skinny white boy with a wannabe mullet. It was just ridiculous. Thus, Princess Ponytail. Anyway, so we were out there, we were taking photos and stuff, just being stupid. We both sucked at climbing, but we wanted to think that we were awesome. So we took these photos and actually started creating these cartoon strips. And people seemed to love them, and they were just a joke at the time, but people seemed to love them. So they asked us to start making videos and just do whatever. So it was he and I, Nathan and I, and then I met a guy named Shane. Wow, $14 socks! I can't tell you anything about Shane. I can't describe him. I can't explain him. He's just Shane. He's awesome. But at least he thinks he is. But so now it's the three of us, and this is the first episode of what will be very grand. And please excuse the poor quality because we're shooting it with like a little $90 camera, a little Nikon, and yeah.
As you can see, part of Fresh Crow is climbing, and the other part is antics. So thank you for checking out the pilot episode. Here we have episode 2, Dancing and Dying, and there's some of both in this episode. One of the things that we had never thought about before we started filming, because there's a lot of trial and error, was we had to learn how to use the cameras, and as we talked about in the intro here, we were using the worst setting the first episode, and we used the best setting on the next episode. So the quality went up. We learned as we went. This was basically our pre-film school film school. But we also hadn't thought about how exhausting it would be to basically say, oh, we have to climb each boulder problem 4 times so that we can shoot it from multiple angles. And that means we have to either like alternate, like you climb and I'll film you, and that way I can rest while I'm filming, and then you can swap with me so you can rest, and we'll go back and forth. So it would take us like 2 or 3 hours or more to be like, we're going to drive to the bouldering area, hike in, and then alternate resting, climbing, filming, resting, climbing, filming, and only do like 4 boulder problems, and then pack everything up, go home, dump the footage, review it, and be like, oh, we missed the thing, we gotta go back. So, dancing and dying, coming at you. Blah!
Where are we going to start this off?
I don't know, how do you want to start it off?
I don't know.
How about we say welcome to Cro-Mag episode 2?
Dope! Cisco.
You Cisco, nice.
Oh, that's
Check this out.
Check this out.
That's
High five.
nice.
Here we are, episode 3 of Fresh Crow Season 1, called Sisters. Why? Because the triumvirate, the trifecta of Princess Ponytail, Hosh Miagi, and MFSB went from Bend, Oregon, where we all were, to Sisters, Oregon, and went climbing. Sisters is a range mountain. There's 3 mountains in the range, hence the Sisters Mountains, hence the town Sisters. And there's a bouldering area with some top rope climbing. I don't think there's any lead climbing. Really sharp rock. And so we decided, which we were like, we're going to do this all the time, and this is the only time we did it, that the 3 of us would go out and camp for the weekend. So we drove out Friday after work and climbed until dark, and then we camped out and climbed all day Saturday, and I don't remember actually now, in retrospect, if we went home. I think we went home Saturday night. But lots of antics, lots of stories, so enjoy Sisters. mentioned earlier that we were making all this up as we went along. There was no plan to have a show or have a series or have anything really. But as the climbing days, which became like filming days, turned into episode days, we decided to go with themes and different ideas. And one of the things Hosh decided to do was go through and not only film some things that they didn't have before, but to kind of repurpose or repackage what we had already put out. So as we were learning how to film, not only like using the camera, but how to like climb on film, we're also learning how to edit and export videos and make videos and put titles in and all that stuff. So this is the episode 4 Hosh episode that he made for himself. And I love that he did that because it really shows off himself and his climbing and the way he looks at everything, and best Fresh Crow Mag episode ever. Halfway through season 1, can you believe it? Episode 5 is the MFSB standalone episode. Hosh led us off with episode 4. Episode 5, don't mess with. Why? Because we had seen You Don't Mess with the Zohan in the theater that year. And we were like, oh my god, this is amazing. And we listened to the soundtrack all the time. And we would just like do antics. And as I've mentioned, this show is half climbing, half antics. Hence, Hosh Antics in number 4, MFSB Antics in number 5. The intro also came back, which we didn't have in episode 4 because Hosh was just kind of re-editing old footage. And you'll hear us talk about, oh, we've been filming all these episodes with a camera. Maybe we need a tripod. So this is the first episode with some stability. Enjoy.
What was our first lesson there?
I brought a tripod today, so the camera doesn't go like this.
Tripods are essential tools, because without a tripod it goes like this. Also, cameras have more than one setting for the video feature.
They have multiple settings.
They have multiple, and some of them are better than others. And
like yesterday's setting was the worst one.
it was really bad.
And
but today's
setting
setting is
best one.
best one. Yeah. It's great. Did we learn anything else?
I'm sure we'll learn more today.
Climbing's hard.
Brought a hot girl.
We did bring a hot girl. Hi, hot girl.
Hi, hot girl.
Here we are at episode 6, and you're getting a double dose of MFSB. This is the boom moment, and I really leaned into all of the bright colors and the 80s type of stuff with, you know, fluorescence and like tights, and talk about David Lee Roth and Hulk Hogan and all the things. You know, I'm the old guy. So enjoy, and Hosh will be back. Stay tuned.
the behind-the-scenes bonus footage right here, boys and girls. This is known as a climbing stall. That's a bathroom stall. You hear that? Oh wait, sorry, I had a flashback to now. This is all like indecent and stuff. You get to see me change. Go through the whole like, I gotta go from regular person to like Chris Graham. Yeah, I said it. What up, Chris? We're going to very old school climber today. For all those kids at home, old school climber means 80s style. 80s style, the fuck wild. 80s style was all about tightness and color explosions. This is basically like if David Lee Roth was a rock climber, which actually David Lee Roth is a rock climber. That's what it'd be like. Getting old, so we need to support the joints. Got Sans bag today. Trench Sans ins and outs. Prepare yourself for the boom moment. The boom moment is coming shortly. And you'll know the boom moment when it happens because there'll be a loud boom. This is a precursor to the boom moment. What are you gonna do, brother? We're the largest arms in the world, run wild on you. Boom! Jerry Moffat. Fucking watch out, Jerry. I'm coming. Did you bait your bow? Got nothing. Who are you?
One of the big adventures we had that first year of Fresh Crow was taking a contingent, filling a van with like 6 people, I think, or maybe 7, and we drove all the way down to Joshua Tree in California from Central Oregon to climb at JT. And El Jefe, who you'll meet in future seasons, took a contingent of climbers from Arizona and drove over, and the two of us met, and we spent almost 2 weeks just camping and climbing in it was kind of like early spring, so daytime was nice, but at night we were freezing. So this is the one episode where I'm going to leave the original music in because the whole thing is cut to the classic All Your Bass Are Belong to Us song, which if you know, you know, and if you don't, well, you're about to know. So hopefully this doesn't get flagged or muted or what have you, because really defeats the whole purpose of the bass episode not having the bass song. So as a tribute to all the road trips, all the climbs, all the campgrounds, all the shenanigans and antics, that's right, I hope you are getting some of your own and you're enjoying seeing some of ours, and I will be back shortly to end the season.
What happened?
Someone set up us the bomb. We get signal.
What?
Main screen turn on.
It's you.
How are you, gentlemen? All your bays are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction.
What you say?
You have no chance to survive, mate, your time. Ha ha ha. All your bays are belong to us. All your bays
Here we are at the end of the season already, episode 8, which is actually a teaser for season 2. As you may or may not know, when you're making content, there's quite a bit of delay between filming the stuff and editing it and getting it out. So while we were editing and uploading and figuring out what to do with all of these episodes, including like, oh, we should shoot intros, which we didn't do when we were there necessarily, or we should create some kind of like a TV show intro, like with theme music and stuff, which we didn't have before, or we should turn this into like a series, which we didn't think of initially. So while we were doing that, we were still going climbing and doing trips. So that second year, we went down to California, where Hosh is originally from, and did road trips, including climbing at the famous Stony Point. And you see some footage in the teaser of Hosh working on and eventually getting Leaping Lizards, which is one of his favorite climbs there, but also one of the most famous because it's a huge dino. So I hope you enjoyed season 1. Again, this is season 12, the comeback final legacy edition. So each episode is going to be threading together the entire season of shorts with some commentary and retrospective and additional storytelling by me. And I really want to dedicate this season to Hosh Miagi. Because if it wasn't for Hosh, none of this would have happened. You know, you need the chocolate and the peanut butter. You need the peanut butter and the jelly. You need, I guess, peanut butter and something. So you can do more together. So I hope you find collaborators, whether it's a belayer or a climber, or it's a creative partner, or a friend, or whatever it might be, so that you two can create your own Fresh Crow, whatever that may look like. Because really, having those best friends and having someone who you can be like, no shit, there I was, and they go, I remember, it just makes everything better. So I hope you tune in for the next episode of season 12, which will be the retrospective of Fresh Crow season 2. So here we're going to watch the end of season 1, and I'll see you in the next episode. Please like, share, subscribe, all the things. And if you want to support me making content, I have a lot of shows, go to Patreon. The link will be up on the screen. Thank you so much. Happy climbing.